Okay, so we're discussing an attachment or document which was a part of Circular DBE S2 of 2020, which is the teacher guidelines for implementing the annual teaching plans in July 2020. The purpose of the document is to provide teachers with support and advice on how to interpret and apply the revised annual teaching plans in their specific context, and it applied to all SMT members and all educators for all subjects and for all grades. Again, links to the PDF doc and links to this video itself. Let's jump into teams. If we're in the Grabie Personeel team, we just go to the COVID Curriculum tab. Remember, we can get it under the tab here, Summary Document. We can find that there as well, which is the document I was referring to just now, or we can click on the Files tab, and under the Files tab we will go to the Circular Attachment folder, and in the Circular Attachment folder we will then find this DBE S2 2020 Annexure A2, which is the annexure that we are looking for, the teacher's guide lines for the implementation of the revised annual teaching plans. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very general document, and as such, I'm just going to run through a few things in this specific regard. The first thing that I would like to refer to is, on page 2 is the content, showing the purpose of the guidelines document, the introduction and background, the challenges that they had, what were the guiding principles, what is the guidelines for teachers in planning teaching, and how do we integrate school and home learning basically. That is what this document is all about. The next thing I want to refer to is simply this here at the bottom of page 3, that due to COVID, there was a loss of time, there was a consultation process, and according to that, they revised the annual teaching plan, and that led to teaching plans to be guided by the ongoing teaching process itself. The next one is on page 7. Interesting one, this, just to go look at how we're going to teach, but this one is the important one, talking about the criteria for school-based trimming and organization, dividing content into core content, which is crucial and you cannot do without it, advanced content, which is higher order levels, and then developmental content, which is additional and not required. The core content, they say this must be retained, and the teacher should lead these sections, and we must use formative assessment. In the advanced content, this must definitely be led by face-to-face biases, and the emphasis again on formative. The developmental content could be left out, or if there's time it can be done, or it can be given to learners as additional work. On page 12, we see this model for teaching and integrating between the home and teachers. So the teacher introduced a new lesson based on the learner's preparation work, and then the teacher provide preparation work for the next lesson to be done at home. Then the learner go home and practice and do the reinforcement work and note their questions and aspects they're struggling with. The learner prepare for the content for the next lesson at home. The teacher then discuss the questions and do some advanced or higher order content, and then the teacher will also identify through formative assessment any remediation that needs to be done, and then give more practice work at the lower order for the children to follow. On page 15, we see that there is this idea that there's the teacher and the caregiver working together. The teacher need to understand the home environment and identify the work that should be done, provide resources needed, provide clear instructions, and inform parent of this schedule. The caregiver needs to create a routine, monitor the pacing, support and encourage the learner, and keep in contact with the teacher. So we know that that learners will be one day at school and one day at home. So this is why it is important for us to make sure that there is this combination between the home and school being followed, and this will give you that guideline.